I met a gypsy.
I'm waiting for the time where it's like you get the kid that has had a strider his whole life, then he had a Stasic, then he had a Suron, then he gets a Stark, and then he just races A1.
It just skips everything and he was like, oh, I'm good, ready to go.
Yeah, and it's almost like McGrath in a way, you know? It's like he just raced BMX and he had this crazy skill, and then he kind of did motocross and was shit at it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, you should do this Supercross race. And
it's like BMX. I'll try it out.
But, I mean, that's kind of almost what we're looking at with, like, the whole Strider thing.
What do you think, what is AMA or what are they going to do with those things? Just like class-wise.
Well,
you know what I mean? I don't, because I hear things about it. I'm just like the fan side of shit. But
have you been following the whole Taddy Blazorziak thing?
I just saw that he started competing on it or something, or about
so they
something.
banned him.
Oh,
they banned it from racing.
Really?
Yeah. So there's all types of rumors.
And that's for Endurocross, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've like signed Taddy, like huge signing, and then so I'm pretty tight with all the Stark guys, so I've kind of got some information. And they got the FIM rulebook, and they just went fully through the rulebook. Like they have sports lawyers, they're doing it as by the book as you could possibly do it. And then they like built the bike around it. They like built all of these, you know, fail safes for the FIM, and it was like, here's the inside of the bike, here's everything. Like we're doing it right. Yeah. And then
what did they call them out for? How did they?
I think that it's other. I think you got to think. I'm trying to be careful. I'm trying to just make people.
I like these ones. These are fun.
I'm trying to make people hear what I'm saying without me saying it. You know, but it's like. You would have to think that there would be manufacturers that would sponsor the series. And then you'd have to think that there's like, it's mountain bike thing.
There's other things that play than
than just the rules.
AMA or rules, right? There's other things that play.
Yeah. And then it's like, it's the same thing as the whole filmers. Like someone will film for free. It's like these people that are at FIM, how many of them are getting paid like $300,000 a year to be like an FIM worker, or are they getting like some free bikes and you know what I mean? So it's like,
they might have a side by side or two.
Yeah, like what's the relationship? Like what's the
Never thought about that.
And you know, so I think that there's people that aren't ready for them to be racing yet, and I think that the people that aren't ready for them to be racing yet will be ready at some point. And I would say that as soon as maybe two other manufacturers have one that's ready to race, that the rules will probably change in very similar time.
Yeah, might change real quick.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know. I saw, I think just on Instagram the other day that I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because I've heard of him for sure. Don't know him or anything. But I didn't even know. I was like, oh, okay, well, it looks like they're racing sick.
Yeah. Huh. But I know they want to race everything. Like they'd race, like the World Championships. And I know they want to race Supercross. But there has to be a company that is the one that like has to break ground. Yeah. You know, like it's just, Tesla was the same sort of shit, you know, like you haven't seen any, I guess Dakar, like have you ever followed Dakar stuff? Like that fucking Audi that just mopped everybody. Yeah. So it's like some of the examples of vehicles racing gas vehicles mean that the gas vehicles got fucked up.
Power wise, or does it? I mean, like
it's so much faster
for Supercross. it wouldn't even matter, right?
Well,
because it's not like who out there is running.
Dude, have you seen Bogle's Instagram? Dude, he's like, so he's riding some test stuff for Stark. Okay. And man, like there was this section he was showing me on his phone. He's like triple, just like jumps all of it. Really? You're like, fuck, that's probably not okay. Dude, have a look at this. I'll actually show you. Yeah. This was me at World Vets. I'll show you the video. And I'm not exactly the world's best rider or best starter. And then...
Dude, wait till you get me on the track. You'd be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have Kyle ride this thing.
No, you'd fucking smoke me, mate. Where are these?
No. I'm so actually, you know what? In general, I'm pretty timid on things.
Really?
Yeah. Like people, especially with the Rampage stuff, people are like, oh yeah, like,
yeah, you're crazy.
You must have the biggest balls ever. And I'm like, no, I'm like pretty smart, like about
scared.
like, oh, scared for sure. Like we're all scared out there. But just like my comfort zone, right? My comfort zone's different than everybody else's, but like I stay pretty close in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, I'll dip a toe in here, there, or when the pressure's on, all right, I'll put my foot over there. It's hot, but it's not bad. You know, like, but I'm not like the type that's
just the full send.
I'm not a full sender. Like, never have been. You know, just my comfort level is different than most.
You're like a comfort through reps kind of guy.
For sure.
This is how they go. But and keep in mind while watching this video that I fucking suck.
Dude.
It's crazy, eh? But I didn't get a start like that again for the rest of
What's the weight feel like? Just the balance and then
it's
because it's pretty similar,
bring that
right?
a bit closer.
Sorry.
It's definitely a little bit heavy.
Like balance wise, I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it feels better than a normal bike when you're riding it. But definitely I noticed it like Glen Helen and where there's like the bigger hills and bigger kind of G outs that it's like the actual weight transfer. Mm-hmm. Like that's probably the thing that you would feel the most. But then it's kind of like deceiving though because there's no sound. You're kind of hearing all this different shit, and it's like in my head some of the time, like some of the feedback I've given to the team over there, I'm like, man, it's just like heavy slaps like when you land.
Because you can actually hear
but
the
then
chain.
It's like, is it just that I can hear this fucking thing, you know, just like smash into the ground? And I'm not like when you land, so it's like it's actually kind of hard to know. But as far as the weight, like it doesn't have the inertia, you know, like it just doesn't. Like because when you're on a dirt bike, like a 450 especially, you've got a crank that's moving, you've got like that whole bottom end, then you got the piston that's like going up and down, the valves are spinning, and it's like picking up a hard drive. You know when you like pick up a hard drive while it's running and you got the gyroscopic effect. Mm-hmm. Well, so think about that, but just you're trying to slow down, but the motor's still revving.
Plus
like
wheels and everything.
Yeah,
everything is moving in between your legs and so on. Right?
So like you just don't have that. And I think that's like the biggest deal. So it's like
that makes sense.
The weight wise, it's a few, I mean, it's probably like
it's minimal, right?
7 pounds or 8 pounds. I'm not sure. It's definitely heavier, but you just don't have that massive gyro. It's like picking up. It'd be like picking up an SSD hard drive that doesn't spin, and then you're like, it's heavier than this. But as soon as it starts spinning, like you just feel there's more weight. It's probably like the best way to explain it.
That makes sense. Yeah, we used to do even on my hardtail, like dirt jump hardtail, we used to do like heavier tubes and tires and so on for that gyroscopic, right? Because we don't have a motor or anything to like. So I noticed like it was easier until I got to like say a 29er downhill bike, 29 front and rear, that those things they want to stand up, right? So like when you're whipping it, you can throw it harder, and if you trust it, it'll stand up. But then I was unsure what to do with that. It took me a long time to like figure it out. I feel like I never actually got it back.
Yeah.
You know, like when I started changing wheel size and everything, like I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I don't know what to do with this thing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, eh?
But even just on like such a smaller side, right? Like so much less weight, we would try and add weight to do things, but then change the wheel size and then add it. You got way more gyroscopic effect. But then, you know what you're saying with the moto, from a traditional moto to that, like you're taking all of that away, but then you still have the weight and the balance of it.
Yeah,
that it's actually like a good point, like a good thing.
And the power too. The craziest thing, you know, on like Mad Skills, where like the bike can be like this, and then you hit the throttle. Yeah. Literally, that's what they're like.
Really?
Because
that's good for me.
Yeah, yeah. You could never endo that bike. Like I've had it to where it was like the first time I started riding it here, I got kicked a little bit over the finish line jump at Glen Helen. So I just fucking went, oi, and just hit the throttle. And like the bike goes from like underneath you.
Really?
And like blows your legs backwards because you've got no gear changes. So let's say you're in.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It just hits the rev limiter.
Because it hits the rev limiter and it only spins that fast.
Yeah, and this thing,
whatever gear you're in.
No rev limiter. So you can be like fully nose down, hold that thing wide, like, and that's why you're going to see it be insane in freestyle.
Crazy.
Like J.O. Archer's going to start doing triple flips on the reg on them.
Huh.
it's just very, very different. Very different. We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.